Loblaws isn't just screwing over its consumers and its workers, it's screwing over the Canadian economy. And we need to take a second to talk about stock buybacks and why it's extremely bad for the economy. Because up until the 1980s, stock buybacks were illegal. And just like any other negative economic policy that started in the 80s, you can blame it on Ronald Reagan, even if it happened in Canada. Stock buybacks is essentially the practice of when a company has excess cash, instead of reinvesting that back into their company by paying workers more, hiring more workers, expanding, doing research and development, they buy back shares of their own stock to artificially inflate their stock price. This serves not to benefit anybody except for the rich executives who own massive amounts of shares as well as their shareholders. Because what stock buybacks also do is stagnate wages for the average worker in that company, as well as stagnate economic growth that these companies would normally be putting their money into. With last year Metro spending $470 million buying back its own stock, with Empire buying back $248 million and Loblaws buying back $1.2 billion in stock. Remember, these are the companies that have been crying poor, saying that they're not price gouging consumers, they're just raising costs with inflation. You know, there's nothing suspect going on. It doesn't matter if they've doubled their profits and they've been doing billions in stock buybacks. They're not hurting the average consumer. Nope. And remember how they said that they couldn't afford to continue the hero pay of $2 per hour because they just didn't have the profits and they would have had to pass on the cost to consumers? If they didn't do their stock buybacks, they would have been able to afford to pay every single worker at each company $2 per hour more. And in response to this story from Canada Land, Loblaws said share buybacks are a regular practice, which has only existed for about 30 years, to return capital to shareholders, which in this case includes Canada's pension plans. Ah yes, you're doing Canadians a service by, instead of investing in our economy, investing in the multi-millionaire owners of your companies. And if you want to learn more about this, I highly recommend that you go check out Canada Land in the podcast player of your choice and check out their most recent episode on stock buybacks. And no, I'm not sponsored by them, I'm actually a contributor to them, so you should check them out.